Death Watch.
Welcome back to Cradle of the World, a Dungeons & Dragons 3.5/Pathfinder First Edition campaign by Death Watch Productions. We ended our session last time with Casimir had found a journal of a giant named Threnzon and was reading through that as he explored some underground caverns surrounded by lava. And Rohan had called Tempest to him, and they went to wake the other rocks to search for the other heroes. Fenrith had gone down the staircase to the entrance to that temple, but found it was now just a pile of rubble. And Graham went back to the village to warn of the goblins he had encountered outside the home of the heroes, and Zeus told him that the mayor had been missing for hours. Then when Graham went to leave, a massive metal bird swooped down and snatched up an elf, and another one attempted to do so with Zeus, but was not successful. And then Graham went on his way to try to reunite with his fellow heroes. So that's where we'll pick things back up. First, let's introduce our heroes, starting with Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I play Casimir, hero of the Roc, and I'm currently getting over a cold, so apologies for any phlegmy noises.
I'm Travis. I play Graham, hero of the sea, and I need to find Fenrith so I can make everything right. Or I could pretend like nothing at all happened. What do you think, Rohan? Introduce yourself.
I'm Justin. I'm playing Rohan, hero of the sky, and I think you should pretend like nothing happened, but also, I'm starting to get concerned that I may have been the only one to survive the collapse. So
I didn't even know you guys were there, so
yeah,
my conscience is free.
Yeah, but I watched the ceiling collapse on Graham, and
I wonder if all three of you are
Fenrith.
going through like survivor's guilt. You know, like because you essentially each abandoned each other.
Yeah.
Well, I know Fenrith is.
Yeah, he used
he
the
made
spell.
it out. So I guess I'm just working under the assumption that you did as well.
Okay. Whereas I'm working under the assumption that nobody but me made it out. All right, Fenrith.
I'm John playing Fenrith, hero of the flame, and I know that we only need to replace Rohan because he's the only one that didn't survive.
Oh,
I watched Graham disappear. I know Casimir was inside of the other part of the building. Well, maybe we need to replace him too. But I know that me and Graham will survive.
Okay, so that's where we'll pick back up then. We'll start with Casimir. Casimir, so you had gone into this massive tent sized for a giant and found a journal, and we're going to thumb through that, start trying to decide what was going on down here.
Yep.
So this is the Journal of Threnzon, and as you read through it, you discover that Threnzon was is a cloud giant. And so, you know, it's a pretty big, thick book, and it goes back a long ways, but you're thumbing through trying to get to more recent times. And basically, here's what you've discovered. The entries state, today has been an eventful day. I stumbled upon a peculiar rumor, the orb of Tarcellus. I had heard of this orb before, but only in passing, and never knew its true purpose until now. But as I investigated, I learned that the orb of Tarcellus is the condensed or disembodied soul of Tarcellus himself. And then in parentheses, it states Tarcellus, minor elven deity. This revelation was both astonishing and concerning. Tarcellus was a great, powerful god who disappeared along with the rest a long time ago. Continuing on, it says that, to my surprise, I also discovered that the orb is reportedly being protected by a legendary fire giant warrior named Stromnar. I've heard tales of his strength and prowess in battle, but I never thought that he was still around. According to what I've discovered, he's said to be guarding the orb of Tarcellus at the behest of Surtur, which is his, and then in parentheses it says giant deity, fire giant deity. Furthermore, apparently Surtur agreed to protect Tarcellus' soul at the request of his father, Anam, in parentheses, supreme giant deity. And then continuing on in another entry, upon further investigation, it is said that the soul of Tarcellus will wake him from his slumber if returned to his sleeping body. That would be a noble and honorable act, but I also discovered something interesting. They say that if someone were to consume the soul, they would be granted godhood. And this was quite an interesting thought that I've spent some time pondering. I've decided to keep this information to myself, and I have eliminated those who told it to me. For now, I will continue to investigate and ponder the situation. It is clear, if it exists, that the orb holds great power. And then there's quite a few pages of more mundane entries about, he's apparently a lord or a ruler of some great city. It's hard to tell from his journal if he's like a king or if he's just a duke or if he's just the boss of a company. It's hard to say. But there's a lot of entries discussing how he, told these people to do that and told other people to do something else. And that then one other entry of interest is something that catches your eye is he's detailing that someone brought to his attention that the magic holding the city aloft was acting oddly, so he had to investigate that. He doesn't go into details. He just explains that there's some issue with the magic holding the city aloft, so I went to investigate, and then there's like a ellipsis, basically, and then it says, fixed it, and that's all he says.
Sounds about right for magical workings.
And then he continues on in a later entry, getting closer to the end. And he says, I have made a decision that will change the course of my life forever. After much deliberation and contemplation, I have decided that I will seek out Stromnar, meet him in battle, and claim the orb of Tarcellus for myself. I will consume the soul of Tarcellus and become a god. I know that this decision is a dangerous one and could potentially lead to my downfall. However, the temptation is too great to resist. With such power, I could rule over all of the lands and be revered by all who live in them. Certainly, I would be a force for good. To achieve my goal, I will need to prepare myself, both mentally and physically. Stromnar is said to be the greatest warrior who ever lived. I will need to hone my skills and strengthen my magic, and I will also need to gather allies who can aid me. I know the battle will not be easy. Stromnar is legendary with centuries of experience, and he will not give up the orb without a fight. However, I'm confident with enough preparation and determination, I can emerge victorious. And then he continues on, I must be cautious, though. If anyone were to discover my true intentions, they might use it against me, prevent me from achieving my goal. There's also the matter of Anam, the All-Father, to consider, but I am certain now that he is long dead, and so I need not worry about drawing his wrath. I will keep my plans secret for now, and only reveal them to my most trusted allies. And then you run into some entries that talk about his entry into this place you're in. And he describes it as you saw it, with the wide path, the wide winding path, and the lava far down below on either side. And he describes seeing corpses as well, all along the path, just like you did. And in his estimation, these are other people who've come to claim the orb, and they were not successful against Stromnar. But he does point out that that he can't, that the conditions of the area make it impossible to tell how long any of those corpses have been dead.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know if it was yesterday or yesteryear. And then you get to the final entry where he says, today I should meet Stromnar in battle.
All right. I'll, if I'm able to, try to see if the book will fit into the bag of holding.
Yeah, it'll fit.
All right. Then I'll hop down from the table and continue walking the path
Okay.
through this camp.
All right, so off you go, walking along. Now you're what was like a widened section of it, but then on the other side there's the path continues where it's narrower than this section you're on, but still about 50 feet wide, and it continues on into the haze, and so you move along there. And then we'll go over to Fenrith. So Fenrith, you're standing in front of the giant pile of rubble that used to be the entrance to the temple of where you had gone to find Casimir. What would you like to do?
Well, as I had hoped that I would be able to dig through some of this rubble, but it doesn't really seem possible by myself. So at this point, I think the best option is to go to the rock cliffs and gather the rocks, go get some townspeople, try and dig out the place.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you can start heading back up those stairs, back up to the entrance. Graham, what would you like to do?
Yeah, so after I saw that I didn't really need to help Nazus that much, I was setting out after Fenrith, trying to find him traveling west.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were heading along that same basic path along the rocky ground towards the rock cliffs. And still storming really bad, so visibility is poor, and the wind is blowing rain into your face, but you don't have any problem at all seeing where to go, and you have sure footing, so you don't have any trouble there. But now you've reached the point where looking up ahead, as you know, you're getting closer to where that entrance was that you guys had gone down. You do see the light of a fire up ahead.
Okay. I will approach the fire, but with caution.
Okay.
Just because it's a fire doesn't mean it was Fenrith.
All right. Are you going to roll with stealth?
Oh, sorry. How do these games work again?
Need to get some ninja prestige, so you don't got to. You're just taking a 10 now.
I was just playing one of those games where we all take turns narrating what happens without rolls.
Okay.
But if I'll look for signs of sonic damage in the area, because then I'll know Fenrith was here.
Yeah, no signs of sonic damage.
His armor has passed through this area.
All you need to do is really just follow the depressed footprints of my passage with this all this armor on.
That'll be your ultimate fate for Fenrith, is you just step into a bog somewhere and just disappear. People never know what happened to him.
Okay, so yeah, you see that fire, and so you start pressing forward a little more cautiously, and after about a minute, as you're getting closer to the source of that fire, like you see it sometimes and then you don't, because large boulders you got to move around and stuff, and the elevation changes a little here and there. So, but generally you head in that direction, and you get to a point where you've like crested a large boulder, and you're looking there, and you can see that fire, and you also see the outlines of two people close to that area, but they're like 30 feet apart from each other, and they're scanning the darkness in their respective directions. But you can tell, that they're both humans, and one of them has one of those rifles. The other holds a staff and is dressed like the mages that you've encountered.
Oh, enemies.
Sunder, tongue, or hand. That's what you need to use
Right.
on mages.
Do I see enough shadows or cover to approach either of them for a sneak attack or?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we'll go to the one then that doesn't have the rifle. Or did you kind of identify him as a magic user because he looked like the other ones?
Yeah, that's what you would think. He's
Yeah.
got the robes and the staff, and you can even see that collar that they wear that,
Yeah.
you know.
So that's the one that's like to give me trouble with my low wisdom.
Yeah.
Low will save, actually. Wisdom's average.
Somehow, even if it wasn't the same wizard that told you to grab Fenris' breastplate, this one would also give the
That would be awesome if I fail and he gives me that mission again. And then I'm like, okay. And I go searching for Fenrith and I'm like, the breastplate now. Fenrith.
Go get the object you most desire. And for some reason,
So yeah, I'll sneak up to where I can get behind him and then I will attack with Bloodtooth.
Okay.
Try to sneak attack. You need a new stealth roll.
Yeah, 1 second, though. Let me get the...
Maybe I should start torturing mages instead of just killing them.
you already do.
Do I? Oh, you're right. Casimir's a mage. Tortured soul. What I mean is I could just fisticuff him, maybe knock him out, and then bind him up appropriately, give him a hard time.
Yeah. It's times like this that you wish they had rules for flaying, and they probably do somewhere. But there's probably a spell for that too.
Maybe
It's probably a cleric spell.
Probably. They get all the fun ones.
Yep.
you could be like a heal knowledge or something, or heal was its own skill. Which is it? I forget. Heal's
Is it-
its own
I
skill.
found a perfect spell for this scenario next time.
Okay.
It immediately magics my armor onto another wearer.
Oh, nice. That'll solve the problem.
It won't be going to you, though.
What?
I'll just cast it on the mage, any mages that I see. I'll let you try and get it off them.
Well, it would be kind of cool to get something with like a high spell fail rate. As good, I don't know. You just put it on them, right? Mess with them a little bit.
All right, do initiative for me, Graham.
Oh, right. Lose where this guy is.
I'm surprised there's not a spell like
Initiative. I thought you were just
that. Like
narrating this
distraction
part.
or something like that. That
I'm trying to.
I think like illusions have a sub.
You should have
where,
done
like,
better.
They can. A
How
lot
do
of
I
spells
roll?
also kind of have like if it's high winds, earthquakes type stuff, you should be making concentrations.
11?
Okay.
but still
So,
something that specifically distracts them.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. So you wanted to sneak up. You can see him on the combat tracker.
Yes.
So you wanted to sneak up on the mage.
Yes.
Stabby, stabby.
Yeah.
Yep. Sneak up behind him and do a single attack.
Okay.
A single lethal attack.
Lethal attack.
All right, so that is a hit. So let's get some damage there.
There
Max
be the dagger.
Damage.
Yes,
Yeah.
14. A
Sounds
big
like
14.
a killing blow to
Not
me.
too great for the.
Yeah, low sneak
Oh,
attack.
wow, yeah.
I paid
Still,
the price.
14's pretty good. I mean, that hurts most wizards.
Is he still alive, Brandon?
76 for 17 damage. That's pretty bad.
All right, so what's our...
Grand total is 31.
yeah,
That's
he's
a
still
wizard
alive.
killer for sure.
All right, I'm going to add the bleeding effect to him, assuming that he's not immune to it.
That's a correct assumption.
And also the staggering strike. Just means he's staggered unless he heals himself. Like if he gets 1 point of magical healing or he uses a heal check, he can only take one action around for just the next round, basically.
So he's staggered.
Yeah, so if I could do another sneak attack, this would be the classic rogue stun lock
Mm-hmm.
move in the next round where he just have one action. Yeah, it's not going to modify anything. I think it'll just put it on the round count on his, but it doesn't change his stats or anything because it's just something you'll have to remember about him.
And it means he can just do...
Yeah, it's like if your hit points are reduced to 0, you get that last round where you can do one either move action or standard action.
Okay.
And then you drop to -1. they call that staggered.
All right.
It's a very, very rare circumstance that needs its own term. Getting exactly 0 hit points.
Okay. Yeah, so you sneak up behind him and you stab him, and, he makes a slight, like a almost imperceptible sound of air escaping and staggers a bit.
I felt like, I just clipped the ball a little bit. Had that same feeling when the dagger went in him. I didn't quite hit it full on.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
You felt
17? What
You
the
felt
heck?
like the jugular, the
Yeah,
whatnot,
just rolled out of the way.
Yeah, you felt the knife kind of start to catch and then slip off.
I just hit tendons.
That's what happens every time they go to give me like an injection, and you can see the nurse's face when it happens.
Just rolls out of the way.
Yeah, it was in. I know it was in. No, it wasn't. I told you my veins roll.
Your veins are in the matrix. They
Yeah.
see those needles coming. They're like,
So yeah, but I wonder if you perceived like his jugular moving in his.
I probably did because that's how I see it. I have their vein outline, their arterial outline. Everybody just looks like that image of the dude's all his arteries spread out, like all the veins in his body.
I like to picture it like
Looks like a Cthulhu monster.
when Dr. Manhattan was reforming, and he's like his circulatory system. So you kind of seeing it like that.
My James got the random neck pain happened to him for the first time the other day. He was just standing there and he's like, Dad, something got me. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's the ninjas, boy. You gotta be on the lookout. Watch yourself at all times.
All right. So yeah, he turns, and he's like staggered, and he looks at you, and his eyes go wide as he sees who you are, and so he sort of fumbles, and he's trying to cast a spell.
Just your everyday mage, or not mage, but rogue that appears and puts a knife in you.
So yeah, he actually like fumbles a bit and goes to try to cast a spell, but drops his staff because he forgets that he has it for a moment, and then he's clearly, being clumsy. So let's see.
That bleeding can be stopped in the same way, I believe. So if he does a heal check or takes any magical healing.
Oh, dude, I can just take magical healing. I don't gotta wait.
If somebody gives him some magical healing, or he does it on himself.
I wonder if rogues can pickpocket healing, like enough, just reach into enough of the divine.
I'd consider it for like epic levels, right? If you readied your action for like a spell casting.
Steal the spell.
Yeah, no, super high DC.
I think there's a whole class that can kind of do that though. But yeah, I could see it if it was like epic spell level plus 50.
I could also see it as like a feat at some point.
Right.
Like you get a 1/10 of the sneak attack damage you dealt as.
Yeah, well, that mage thief, I think the way it works is when you do your sneak attack damage, you can sacrifice how many like D6s for spell slots, basically. So you'll hit him sneak attack, and you'll be like, I want to steal level 3. So you lose 3 off your sneak attack damage, and you get a 3rd level spell from him. So it's a cool class. I like the way it sounded. I thought about cross-classing into it, but...
Is there one about like stealing effects already on another person?
I think so. And also you can do like at higher levels, you can do special abilities from like creatures and stuff.
Nice.
Maybe not special abilities, but
blue mage.
spell-like abilities.
Yeah.
There we go.
You're a blue mage, basically. I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that would be fun. Find someone that's, doing the John Cleric trick and stab them, and suddenly you grow and they shrink. And
then they had the scout's kind of charges up his sneak attack by moving. He gets a sneak attack by moving in the same round that he attacks something in. So if you move 30 feet and attack, you get sneak attack. So it's kind of interesting class.
it'd be kind of interesting with some range sneak attacks.
Right, yeah. That's what I was thinking, because if you're standing back there just shooting your bow, you can keep... But I don't know how if sneak attack really stacks up to like what the ranger gets on top of their stuff, because I see your hits and I'm like, sneak attacks are cool and all, but this is no Justin volley.
Yeah, the ranger, all of that's based on the number of shots.
Yeah.
Kind of like the monk flurry of blows. And as you've seen lately, as the enemy's AC gets higher, than those later, like my third and fourth ones almost never hit anymore.
Yeah.
But I think they start getting like move as a swift action type
Rangers?
ability. No, the scout.
Oh, the
so
scout.
basically, they'll get like a number of uses that they can do a swift action move. So basically, you get
So move and then do a full
right,
round.
Yeah,
Yeah, isn't that like in 5th as well? Is it the disengage or whatever?
yeah, I can't remember.
It was like where they'd hit or do something and then move as a whatever 5th has. I forget.
And I can't remember what differentiated the ninja sneak attack. Didn't you play one?
No, I've never played one. I always wanted to play a ninja though, because like just that way I didn't have to roll stealth all the damn time.
Sudden strike. So it's sneak attack, but
Sudden.
same conditions. It's just whenever they're denied a dex bonus.
Oh, I believe
Trying
like
to see what's different
a
about it.
lot of people that would be playing ninja come over from monk.
Right.
So
it's like-
it's giving them a sneak attack if it's not, or it's adding to it if it is, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you do because you're getting like a bunch of movement stuff like Great Leap and Ghost Step, and your acrobatics are getting bonuses as well. So yeah, it would combo up with the monk quite nicely. I don't know what does the key powers do?
Anyway, this will provoke an attack of opportunity from you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take it. Another swipe at him.
Just twist the blade in his throat. Or did you stab him in the throat?
In the back.
This
This one doesn't have sneak attack.
just remove it from his, or just, draw it all the way up to his throat and twist up there.
So I dealt him 12 damage. Another good dagger roll.
Okay.
You could have discharged your gem into it.
Yeah. How many I got in there? 2? Yeah, 2.
All right. He's trying to cast.
Here comes the will save spell. What are these people put it out on a bulletin or something?
All right.
One of the heroes? Super dumb.
Yeah, so he goes to cast a spell, and you slash at him, and you slice him pretty good, but he is successful at overcoming that concentration, so
Darn it.
he does cast a spell at you. But you're successful at reflexing out of it, so basically he manages to get off the spell, and these steel bands materialize and try to wrap around you, but your reflexes are too good, and so you slip out of the way. And then he still can't manage more than just normal speaking, so that'll, well, let me,
Does it look like that bleed effect is working properly?
okay. And then, so that'll be your turn.
Okay.
Well, he bleeds again
Right. Yeah, I was just wondering if...
on your turn.
I don't know. I think
Or on
usually
his.
those tracker things count when you go past their turn, right?
Yeah.
If it's on them.
Yeah. So we'll see on
Yeah.
his next turn.
So I'm going to do the acrobatic backstab then, which means I have to tumble through his space, which will make him flat-footed, basically. So let me give you that, which I think I need is 25. Double check that. Or no, sorry, this it's 5 plus the opponent's combat maneuver defense. Sorry, I forgot it works a little differently. So that's my DC.
Okay. So in this case, your DC is 27. So you got it.
Okay. So then that will make him flat-footed, and I will go
Okay.
for another stab.
Hang on a second. Let me put that on him. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, gonna try to hit that vein this time.
That's a hit.
All right, let's pay close attention to the sneak attack. What's gonna happen?
Ooh,
There we go.
yeah.
Got you, sucker. Still alive though. Huh?
Uh,
What hit die are you rolling?
It's because he's not a mage. He is actually a barbarian. He just got out of a bath. That's why he's wearing a robe.
Well, right. That's so you do this ninja move and get behind him and stab him again.
That also staggers him again for the next round.
Okay.
Which I applied to him.
All right. But he is still somehow standing, although he's not standing up straight, that's for sure. He's
Right.
like doubled over, and he's trying to reach behind him to stop the bleeding. But anything else for your turn?
That's it.
Yeah, so then as after you do that, then like a second passes, and then just a gout of blood splatters out of him, and that's the end of him.
Okay.
So like it looks like he's gonna turn towards you, but then he just crumbles, and you can see the the steam rising as his blood pools on the ground, on the stone at your feet.
Well, Graham's expression of slight concern will change to relief. Good.
Does he do that thing where he like grabs onto Graham's vest and like, I don't want to die?
No,
Mommy's getting real cold.
he didn't have time. Okay.
Nobody wants to die. Come on, what a thing to say. What, you want to say something else before you go? Well, some people want to die.
Tell my wife I loved her.
So he falls to the ground dead, and you hear a shout come from off where that ranger is, and you look over there, and he's 40 feet away. But even through all the rain and the wind, you can tell that he's looking in your direction. He's got his musket up. You can tell that he's like not looking at you. He's looking
Just
in
where
your
he
direction.
knows his comrade to be.
Quick, Travis, scurry away into the darkness.
But you hear him shout some question, and then he moves forward and sort of hugs a boulder, peeks around it in your direction.
Okay.
But it's your turn.
I'll tell him not to come over here. I'm relieving myself. I'll just do the standard enemy gruff voice. Or maybe there's an affectation I can do for being a human.
Okay.
But like, I'm trying to...
Yeah, he's also a wizard,
Oh, right. As
so
a
he's
wizard.
arrogant.
Does a wizard ever admit to pooping? I don't know. They probably have some magical process by which they get rid of their waste.
JK,
Prestidigitation.
This.
All right.
Probably. But yeah, that's what I'll tell him. I'm using the bathroom. Please
Okay. So
give me some privacy.
yeah, let's do a
Bluff.
do a bluff.
Yeah. Ooh, 18. Ooh, what happened? Stop.
Okay. Okay.
Tensor's magical evacuation.
So you you shout that, I'm relieving myself, and you put on that affectation, and that's your turn. All right. Fenrith, you come out of the boulder wherein that entrance was set out into the dark wind and rain. But as you do, you can hear someone shout, I'm relieving myself. Don't come over here. Now, because of the wind, it's hard to tell for certain the exact direction, but certainly it came from over by the general area where that fire was.
Okay. So I had forgotten about those guys. I'll try and move off and around then. That is kind of like how I did before, except without the coin with darkness on it.
Okay. So, are you trying to be quiet, or are you doing a stealth?
I'm gonna try.
Okay, roll a stealth in the tower. Okay, and then put a perception in the tower.
Me or
Yeah. Okay. So you go moving around, like taking a roundabout way. And as you get to like a space where you can just fit between two house-sized boulders, peeking around that corner with the lightning lighting up the sky, you can see about 30 feet away from you the human with the musket leaned on a large boulder, pointing it off towards the west. He doesn't seem to see you, though, and you can't see what he's aiming at. But that's what you see at the end of your turn there.
okay.
All right, and then Graham, you hear that guy shout at you, and he says, well, it's a language you don't recognize. So it's
great.
you can tell that there's a question in it, but you don't speak that language, whatever it is.
Okay, you know what I'll do is I'll put my mouth into the crook of my elbow and just make the loudest fart sound like that way in response. Is this acceptable, Brandon, or am
Nope. That's good. Do a bluff.
sealing my doom?
No, do a bluff check. That's good.
Can I do a perception to see if I recognize this?
That's not a real fart.
Graham?
I
Is that
remember
you?
that sound.
Every time you're given a sermon, occasionally you'll have
Just at
Graham.
the end of it.
Yeah. It's like, damn it, Graham. This is serious business.
Okay. So yeah, you do that, and then now it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I did that. That would probably my skill check. That would be my standard action. So I'm just gonna wait then.
Okay.
To see how he responds to it.
All right. And then back to you, Fenrith.
Well, now that they're split up, as I might as well take advantage of this. How far away did you say he was?
He's 30 feet from you, over very rough terrain though. So half movement terrain.
Okay, I'm gonna cast magnetic field, which emanates a magnetic field 30 feet from me, as all unattended metal objects in range, including weapons, armor, and anything made primarily out of metal, are pulled violently towards me, stopping just a short space and falling harmlessly to the ground. Objects secured to a non-metallic fixture remain where they are, unless a forceful tug would be enough to detach them. I think this is the right one. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So it's a creature in the area wearing metal armor or wielding a metal weapon or holding a metal object must succeed at a reflex save or be dragged 5 feet closer to me in a straight line. They can drop it as a free action to avoid the effect.
Well, I got news for you, John. These guys just came all over in an airship, so all their guns were in plastic to avoid metal detection.
All right. So you're
Also, if he's in the line of any of this metal stuff, he has to make a reflex save to avoid being hit by it.
Yeah. Okay. So he'll need
The
to make
hope is that whatever that weapon is has some metal into it.
Yeah. That's a good spell. Okay. So he'll need to make a reflex save.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
Do we go full nerd and require that it have to be metals that are
The spell doesn't
magnetic in nature?
specify, though, so it's game. It's all metal.
Oh,
I
metal
don't
is
know
metal.
why I.
Then it should be named
roll.
differently.
What do they call that category?
Well, that's.
Can't remember.
No, I had myself targeted
You must have had
as
yourself.
well.
Yeah. Targeted.
There's
So I go
ferromagnetic.
flying
That's what I was
5 feet
thinking.
closer to myself.
All right. So,
Ferromagnetic.
yeah. So you can see when you cast that spell, he does start getting pulled towards you. He's got his, his musket immediately spins him around and pulls him towards you, but he doesn't let go of it.
So creatures that fail their save by 5 or more are pulled an additional 5 feet closer for every increment of 5 which they failed. I don't know how bad he failed by, but
Yeah. So 10 feet closer.
okay. Yeah, is that? I guess I'm not standing out in the open, am I? I guess I should ask that. To
Well,
begin
he
with,
can
right?
see you now,
Okay, that's fine.
but
So that was one. Then I'll now that he's within 20 feet, now I'll move up as well to finish my action.
okay.
Yeah. And was it 7 rounds? Is that correct, what I'm saying there?
Yeah, 7 rounds is what it will last. So if I moved within range of anybody else out there, let me know and I'll.
You better hope that those
Cast them.
boulders don't have large deposits of...
Well, I mean, it's okay for me. It's all the objects stop harmlessly right in front of me. It's anything that's in the way of me and that object that has to
Okay.
be careful.
All right. So then you move closer to him.
Yeah, I'll move 20 feet and get right up next to him. with a fearsome smile on my face. Tell him you killed my friends.
Okay. All right. So he looks up at you, and he's got this, musket out, ahead of him towards you. And so you move up right next to him. And then, so he'll just let go of that, and that'll clatter to the ground.
Yep.
So as you get there, you can see that like his, even his armor is like angled towards you, and he's got a satchel, like a pouch, or like a satchel is the better word for it. And that's, raised up off of and trying to reach you as well. So there's something metallic in there. And, so then to move away, what has he got to do? Another save?
It doesn't really say, but I would imagine that he'd probably have to overcome that to be able to move off.
Okay, so...
You want me to cast it again on him?
Let's see. Drop a creature's made... 5 or more. Well, yeah, just do it so I'll know if he'd be able to or not if he wanted to. Okay, so he did succeed at that. Anyway, so he, has dropped his musket and he's looking up at you, and you can see he gets sort of like a grin, and he shoulders out of that satchel so it falls to the ground, and then he scrambles away, and he can make it 15 feet away.
Does he provoke an attack of opportunity?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that's a hit.
Hold on just a second. I think I need to change my attack bonus. Let me check it.
Still in big mode or something?
You let it hang after.
No, okay.
After the word
correct.
change there for a minute, I thought you just need to change.
Yeah.
Your clothes.
No, it's his midlife crisis. I need to change everything, guys. Goodbye.
I was just thinking of the timeline, John, there. What heralded your arrival was a big fart sound.
I don't have the attack for my weapon at normal size set up. It looks like. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Never mind. As I put it in my bag, I didn't have it equipped.
That'll do it.
I'll use 5 of Graham's charges as well to do an extra. What is it, like 5d6 or something?
It's 2d6 per charge. So
how many?
I have 2,
10d6.
so you get I don't have 5. It has 3
I said
max.
I was using 5.
I don't have 5, Fenrith.
You're just going to get an IOU now.
Right.
Got to owe blood tooth.
That'd be kind of interesting, seeing how to add more to it. I think in standard D&D, you have to start from scratch. There's really no modifying a magic item once it's out in the wild, but assuming you could, it'd be cool to add more gems to the hilt.
Isn't that sort of what the legacy weapons were for? But I think like if you wanted to start from scratch, it still had to be basically a blank masterwork.
Yeah.
But I guess in theory, you could.
It'd be kind of cool to play a campaign with that legacy weapon idea, but every level is like the generation. So your level, it would be like the same class, whatever, but you basically you change up the personality and the name of level 2 versus level 1. And that weapon was like 100 years down, generational, handed to. But so you're not making a new character every time, right? You keep all the stats the same, but that's how those legacy weapons power up. Basically, is they have like a really powerful wielder, and then it goes into the weapon, some ability of that wielder. Of course, it wasn't, from what I recall, I don't think it was like hard and fast rules on how that process had to happen. It was a little bit vague, I think, even.
Probably on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, he scrambles away, and you slash at him, and you do some damage to him. But that's his turn. And then Graham.
Okay, so now I see the Fenrith, or somebody with the shape of Fenrith,
Yeah, you can see that it's Fenrith now.
has come up and start attacking that ranger. All right, so I'll close the distance between myself and the human ranger Can I do that in one move action, or will it take multiple?
Say that again?
Can I move up to him in one move action?
No.
Okay. Can I?
It would take 2.
All right. So yeah, I'll move up to him then.
Okay.
It's my turn. I guess if I could charge, I might do that. I've never charged before with Graham.
It's rough terrain.
Yeah. So then I'll just take the double move and get up behind him, flank him.
Okay.
So don't forget to add flanking modifier to your attack, Fenrith.
So you get up to him. So you'll need to cast that on him too, because you'll need to make reflex saves as you get within 30 feet of Fenrith.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So cast that spell on Graham. All right. So you succeed at your save.
I feel like blood teeth is starting
Yeah.
to...
You feel like your armor
my
and
armor.
stuff is starting to angle it, but you're.
Does that impact my movement going forward? Is that how it was affecting the guy?
It was because he had failed his save, so you'll just have to make a save every turn
Okay.
that you're in this range.
What's the DC? 21?
That just means you're aiming for not getting a 1, right?
What is my reflex? I have plus 13, so I have
A chance.
like a 40% chance of failure with the DC 21.
This
My
was
math is
called
right.
Cthulhu. I don't like those odds.
I don't like it either. That means I can fumble on 5%.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you move up to him, and then now back to you, Fenrith. Now you he had crawled away, and then Graham showed up, and he's up next to him, but you hear like just a sound or whatever at your feet, and see like you can see inside that satchel there. There's like these 3 small metallic round objects in there that you don't recognize, although they do look distinct from each other, but they have the same general shape and size, and then they all explode.
Nice.
And then, see, that's 15 feet away, so Graham, that'll affect you as well. So both of you make a reflex save for me.
Dude, I'd almost hero point that, Travis.
Where did I get a 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to fail on something I'm good at.
Here comes a 1.
3.
3.
That's all I freaking roll. I swear to
So
God.
what was, Fenrith, what was your reflex?
It was a 9.
Okay, so you'll take the full damage
Should have rolled a d6. You would have gotten higher.
from that grenade.
I'd take 2d6.
And Graham, you don't take any because you made your save both
Okay.
times.
Yeah, I figured because like a lot of like grenade type weapons usually are fairly low, but it's
Yeah.
just the principle of the thing. I mean, a rogue with
Okay, then both make a fortitude save for me.
Good on my fort.
All right, so you'll both take half of this damage then. This is sonic damage, but neither of you are deafened.
It is you, Fenrith. Quit shifting around. You're hurting me.
And then both of you make another fortitude save.
There's my 4s back.
All right, so this one doesn't do any damage, but it's just the brightest flash of light you've ever seen in your life.
you guys are going to need to check for
Gonna be
the
blinded.
corpse of Omen. Just getting flashbanged out of nowhere like that.
And so, Graham, you're blinded. And now, Fenrith, it's your turn. So all 3 of these explode at once. And let me roll
Okay.
for him.
Is he still alive, or
So that would have been good there. Yeah, he is still alive. It doesn't seem like he was affected by these. Doesn't seem like he took any damage from these.
okay? As I will cast barbed chains then. As let me target him. So this is summon a chain from another realm, causing it to burst from the ground and strike target within the spell's range, which is 25 feet plus 5 feet every 2 levels. I can either have the chain do a melee attack, dealing 1d6 points of slashing, or attempt a trip combat maneuver against the target. Uses my base attack bonus plus my key spellcasting ability score modifier as its attack bonus and combat maneuver bonus. As on a successful hit, target makes a will save. If it fails its save, creature is shaken for 1d4 rounds. I can summon an additional chain every 3 levels, with the maximum being a 10th level. So 4 at 10th level.
Okay.
Man, I hate that.
Get that tickle in your throat.
Yeah.
Just won't go away. Just the worst. It always happened when it was quiet in class.
Yeah. And I was always too shy to raise my hand. Not that water ever does anything for it, but yeah.
Nope.
All right. So, so you're casting this, and how many chains are you bringing up?
4. I need to modify it, though. Is there a way to modify it? Because it's trying to use my intelligence.
Yeah, it should be at the, where the heck? Come on, thing. Work for me.
Yeah, I'll fix it. This one,
It should use my wisdom, which is a +4.
yeah, I can fix it.
Okay.
Just, yeah, leave your character sheet alone and I'll fix it.
Ah, there.
It needs to be using your wisdom, right?
Correct.
So I was wondering, I think so, though, because it's like, it's still using my eyes to pick out a different vision. It'd be like how blindness would affect somebody with dark vision, right? It's not like
Not a light
tremor
based
sense or something.
Yeah. It's actually why I keep blindness indefinite prepared at all times. So when you go nuts, start stabbing us.
Well, just give up your breastplate and there won't be any problem. Gee, Rohan, that sure is a nice bow you got there.
I just got my dagger back. I'm not giving you my bow.
I'll turn it into adamantine.
Might be a better bow by the time he decides to repay it.
Depends on how, yeah.
But
Okay,
the
that
length
should
of
work.
time I went without it.
Well, you can use my sling. You'd probably be able to do all the same stuff.
Yeah, everything but the shocking burst.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's like half my damage.
Still, if the other half could be replicated with just using a sling,
All right,
it's so
so
crazy.
you're summoning up.
That'd be better, like
All right, so that
strength
was
based ranger.
the
Not for
first
me.
one.
I know, but
As I was gonna try and have two trip and 2 attack. So I believe that one was the cast for the attack, because I see that it has one for each. So we'll try one of the trips now, or should we resolve that first?
Yeah, we'll resolve them as they happen.
Okay, so 4 damage, and then he's shaken for however many rounds. I don't know how many. Oh, it looks like 4 rounds is what it showed. Okay.
Yeah, put it on him. So
Okay, so that was the second trip. I missed on the first one.
okay.
So does that mean that it worked?
So so you're trying to trip.
Yeah, the will save
Melee.
is just for shaken, but he can only be shaken once.
Yeah, so
these don't stack or anything.
basically you're having it make a trip combat maneuver.
Yeah, and I got a 30. I don't know if it rolled it for him at all.
No, it didn't roll his combat maneuver defense.
Does
But
it
that-
roll it, or that's just a number,
It's
right?
just-
Oh,
a
it's
number.
just a hit. Okay,
So that's it. So it worked.
It worked. Okay, and then the last attack chain
And that acrobatic backstab got a little harder.
missed. All right, and then I'll move up to him, stand over him, and tell him again, you killed my friend.
This is the part, if I wasn't blind, where you'd see him go like, "Ugh," and then his guts would rip open, and I'd birth myself through the now opening wound, and I'm like, I'm still here, Fenrith.
They killed Rohan.
Oh, Yeah, I don't know where he's at. And then I'll go back into his...
As when I saw this spell, I thought of what are the Cinnabites?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Check out Dancing Chains, I believe is what it's called. It's even more.
Is that
Cenobite.
closer?
Well, yeah, how does it look that it leaves them shaken? Or is it the effect?
A chain just springs out of the ground and attempts to grab a hold of you and trip you or attack you.
But the tentacles don't leave you shaken. They seem like they'd be...
Whoever is shaken by tentacles.
In the modern era, I grant you, we're all pretty used to tentacles.
Or in an area fantasy setting where everyone's an occultist of some sort.
Tentacles are so cliche. How do you subvert the tentacles?
You can make it hands.
Yeah, either one
Jazz
honestly
hands.
would be pretty bad to see, man. As you got the spiked chains shooting from the ground to trip or stab you, and then all I need is someone to. Well, now I guess I am blooded a little bit from that explosion, as I could bring out the tentacles. Do you want tentacles, Graham? Is that what you're saying?
I don't mind them. I have them on my breastplate.
All right, Rohan. So now you've got the other rocks with you, and you guys are flying, in the direction of you're basically going east, looking for the other heroes, or, barring that, like going to get some people to help look for them, or what was it you were doing?
Yeah, I was going to get them and then I was going to head back to the entrance and have them kind of fan out to look for the others.
Yeah.
Because I had come out in kind of a weird place on a cliff face. And if others ended up in the same kind of thing, then they might be trapped there.
So it is as you're flying in that direction that you look down and you can see the first thing that draws your attention is the light of, like the reflection of a firelight. But then you see, as you take a closer look, Tempest says that she sees Fenrith and Graham in a fight down there.
Okay, let's go help them.
So why don't you roll initiative?
Is this before or after the explosion?
Yeah, so that'd be what really drew your attention, is the explosions.
Okay. I am initiated.
Sorry, I forgot to put you on there. We'll put it on. Okay. All right. So you Tempest, you see that explosion, and Tempest says there's a fight down there, and so you're headed in that direction. And then, so that's Fenrith turns over. Now we're here. All right. And then, so Fenrith, you are standing over this guy. These chains have just come out, and he's, shaken, so his eyes are wide, and he's sort of looking in every direction, and you're like, you killed my friend, and do a perception for me. Okay? You just so happen to look something, you're not sure what, catches your attention, and so you glance over Graham's shoulder, and you see this enormous metallic bird come out of the darkness towards you at about 1,000 miles per hour and slams into you. And let's see. So from these enormous talons, ignore that. You'll take. Why it's behaving this way.
Scroll of Hill. That would get rid of blindness, but you gotta be able to read it.
What is it? Is it a enchantment or a curse? We might be able to John will be able to fix it.
Right, I can start shouting.
Stuff.
Okay, that's just
that's right. It's natural for you right now. Yeah,
blindness. Yeah,
just how life is. You're gonna have to accept it and move on.
Sorry, give me a second.
Teach you Braille.
All within a day.
Yep.
And let it by
the montage.
Yeah. Then
kept my pincer hands. That would be hard. You think? Feel the outside of the chitin.
I don't know how people read Braille anyway. Like I've run my fingers across it, and it
this doesn't feel like
it. Just feels like texture to me.
Apparently, part of the unused portion that used to
do visual.
function for visual stuff gets kind of swapped over for touch.
That would make sense.
But we'd have to make a special form of braille if you kept your claws, because the tip of the claw would have to catch, I think, and so it'd be like it'd be a vertical based one where you'd run your claw down it,
like a groove.
Yeah, something. And like how it, like we'd put little lines inside the groove, and it'd essentially be Morse code.
Fenris would get angry of me reading at night.
I wonder if you could read faster or slower that way. Just
people that read braille read pretty dang fast.
Yeah.
So
I've always been impressed with like seeing the people that do it two-handed, where they've got both hands going across at the same time. I can't read two different sections of a sentence at the same time.
I do. I think you do.
Well,
think about people
right,
like the bad readers reading out in class. They were literally reading one word at a time, so they weren't like grasping a concept. They say that's the difference between liking reading and not reading, is whether you can grasp phrases at a time or words at a time.
And it might not be so much that they're reading two different parts, but actually visualizing the entire sentence at one time. I don't know.
But I guess you're right. Like when I'm reading books to, like when I was reading to my daughter and now to my nieces, I'll kind of take in the whole sentence, and so I can do the right voice for the right part.
Yeah, because you're like kind of anticipating. I've noticed that too, and
also like a lot of the words, like if you're just reading, you're filling in a lot of the words automatically based on like sentence structure and stuff like that. Like I screw up words all the time.
Yeah,
because I put a word there that I should have actually like looked at and sounded out, but it, so like decimate becomes some other word.
Desolate.
Potato.
I think I fixed it. So, anyway, that would have been 10 damage to you, Fenrith, from this giant bird's talons. And then as you get a real close look at it, they're not as big as the rocks, but they're still huge. And you can feel these sharp talons dig into you, and it continues on its path, lifting you up into the air, pulling you along with it in its talons.
We're getting karmic backlash, guys.
Oh no!
I'm just loving the title of that last attack, Combat Man 49.
How can we oppose him? He is a man literally made of combat.
We must go 100% peaceful.
So that's that. And then, so Graham, you can hear the sounds of this, but you don't see what actually took place. Rohan, you do see, as you're getting down close to the ground, and finally you reach the point where you can see Fenrith and Graham standing over a human on the rocky ground. You spot this, metallic predator swoop through the sky and snatch Fenrith up and start carrying him off.
Okay. As a free action, I'll ask Tempest if he can communicate to Fenris Rock that he's being carried away.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, no sooner do you say that you'd notice that
Finaro
is already angling that direction, because they're headed inland.
Okay.
North. So, at the speed that it's moving, in just about 3 seconds, they'll be out over the forest far below.
Okay. Do I see any more of these things
Do a perception.
in the tower?
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere.
You do not.
Can I hero point it?
If you'd like to.
Sure.
You rolled a 20.
Yeah.
So
No, he rolled a 1.
now you'll get a 1.
All right.
Yeah, you do see one coming from the same direction off to the south. You look over there and you catch the brief reflection of lightning off of the metallic feathers headed your direction.
All right. Can I make a pursuit angle attack towards it?
Yeah.
I assume it's probably either heading to grab Graham or myself. But,
Yeah. So during that brief flash of lightning, you see it. When the lightning's gone, you don't. So you'll have to have Tempest take over if she can see it.
How far away was it?
150 feet.
All right. I think I can. Where is it? Yeah, I'll throw out some dancing lights in the path that I assumed it was traveling in.
Mm-hmm.
I have a range of, let's see, I'm level 3 wizard, so 130 feet.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just kind of spread them out in that area to illuminate anything that would fly through it.
Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Wind, rain, flying.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll say dancing lights. You put those up there so you can get some illumination, and that does help you keep get a better look at it.
Yeah.
And tell the thing that's carrying me off to take me back to the party.
Yeah.
I wasn't done yet.
I mean, but you can tell as you get a look at it, based on its angle, that it's in a dive, right? It's definitely headed for Graham.
Okay. Yeah, I'll lot and intercept course, and me and Tempest will also start diving in that direction.
All right. So yeah, Tempest angles her wings and narrows her eyes, and then you start headed on an intercept course, basically. That's you.
We need to make modifications to our saddles that allow for a backseat gunner and a belly gunner.
Enlist a couple of the militia.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, we can put wizards in there.
We've got a very good visual image in my mind after you said that of like the silhouette of the rock, like against the night sky, or like maybe an evening sky, but then the tracers going off like.
Which we kind of got. I
It's
mean,
like a B-52 size-wise. Maybe it might even be.
and like everything we're
gargantuan.
going up against is like lasers and spells, which kind of work like tracers.
So one thing that you notice, Fenrith, that I forgot to mention, as that thing slammed into you and took off with you, and you're looking back, you can see that for a brief moment, all those metallic objects followed, but the speed is too great for them to keep up. And so, Graham, you hear this clatter of metallic objects hitting the stones, and then you hear the sound of that human scrambling to his feet and running off towards the east.
Okay.
And that's your turn.
Yeah, so I'm blind.
And wait, let me make sure how long you're blind, because I forgot to put a time on it.
Dude, are you going to try to do a blind dagger throw?
Forever.
No. So that's still, I'd have to, guess a square. Is there a pinpoint roll for perception?
I think it's, you like do a listen check or whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever the base DC is plus 20 because they're invisible, I think.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it without a map, because usually when you're blind, you have to, pick a square.
Well, now it's a true one.
That's what's so weird. That's
All right, so your
because you're
turn,
also gonna
Graham.
miss a chance.
Right,
still
as
going,
soon as you get it, yeah.
Might as well just let the mischance do that.
Okay, so yeah, since I'm blind, I'll just I'll try to pick up some more details about what's going on, because I think I heard the whooshing of these big bird wings, these big metal birds.
I mean, all I'll say is that you heard a extremely loud whooshing sound
Okay.
of a heavy object cutting through the air close to you.
All right. Well, yeah,
Its voice getting
And
smaller.
I will
And
at
a
least
crash with some screeching metal. Yeah.
I will crouch somewhere though. See if I can rub my eyes, because I imagine I have, based off of how I went blind, I just have a big bright spot obscuring all my vision.
Yeah,
basically. So yeah, trying to rub them out. See if I can get that to go away for this round is pretty much what I'll be doing. But I'll crouch, so I'll try to take cover next to one of these big boulders that were around if I can find it with my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crouch next to it.
Okay.
And yep, like a little kid trying to wake up.
Dude, like at night, I think like that type of blindness, like from light, might actually come at a higher DC for us. I mean, not like Dro DC, but like because like where our eyes would be super dilated to see at this type of light level. So might as well just put the dang grenade right in your eye.
All right. So yeah, you're stumbling around and you get your hands on a boulder. It already does seem like your vision's starting to come back.
Okay. So yeah, I'll probably just try to wait it out then and end my turn.
Okay. And then Fenrith. So now you're being swept through the air at incredible speeds with these talons of this metallic bird clamped securely into your chest. What would you like to do?
Is this considered a construct or an object?
You don't know. It doesn't seem like one.
Seems like an object to me.
You know, it seems like a living creature, although, you know, you can definitely tell that like its feathers are literally made out of some sort of metal, but everything else about it, you know, leads you to believe it's a living creature, even if it's not a natural one.
Okay. As I don't even know how would I go about casting a spell in this situation?
You're grappled,
By what?
Essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You gotta win it, the check. Is that right? Or if it doesn't have somatic components, maybe you can.
Yeah, still spell could work, I think.
okay, so you want to cast a spell, so you can.
Looks like takes one standard action and has no somatic. And you have the material or focuses you might need in hand. Which is usually nice for clerics.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's one of those where I don't think it's taken into account for a lot of stuff, but like Eschew Materials does a lot of good for that because you don't need the offhand.
Yeah, you'll need
and a concentration.
A concentration check of 10 plus its combat maneuver bonus plus the spell level.
Oh,
Oh, man.
So it's not looking like it's possible, honestly.
I'm assuming it rolled a 20 with that 49. So already right there, I don't think.
Well, it's combat maneuver bonus plus 10.
Combat maneuver bonus plus 10 plus spell level.
I mean, the old 3.5 way was 20 plus spell level, so it's like in the ballpark. It just depends on what. It'll be a little higher because the CMB.
Yeah, what's the max concentration you could get?
Well, my concentration was a 20 before we deleted it.
Yeah, but now it would
put it
be
into perception. So it was a 20 plus my wisdom, and I had specialized, so
Constitution.
26 or Constitution. Yeah, sorry, Constitution. So yeah, 26 still. Because my Constitution's a +4.
Where do you find your base concentration these days? Is it in the...
Yeah, it's just
Constitution checks now?
yeah, you just roll a d20 and add your caster level and your ability score modifier. So basically, in Fenrith's case, you'd be rolling, let's see, 14 plus, what is your wisdom? Plus another 4. So 18. You'd get a plus 18 to a d20 roll.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, you could roll 38 at the highest.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be able to get over their combat maneuver plus the 10.
Right, yeah, when you add that plus 10, that really...
You said plus there, but what kind of bonus do they? I guess I just really must suck.
Well,
combat
they rolled a 48 to do that, so I'm assuming they rolled
got
a 20.
the size that factors into it.
Yeah.
You know.
Because
how does the Ring of the Flame? How does the spell casting from that work? Like
It's
as far
basically
as the
using an item.
Yeah, like you don't provoke attacks to activate or use an item, I believe.
No,
like
you
in
don't.
most cases.
Yeah, you could.
So would I have to make the same type of crazy roll for that?
Oh, the concentration is to cast the spell. You're not casting the spell. The ring is. There still might be some. I don't know, Travis. Are you looking at that type of stuff?
The ring is? What kind of activation is that called? Do you remember? Spell.
No.
Command word.
I don't. Would it use a command word? But you might still have to succeed at a grapple, possibly, which is what always makes me mad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's
Spoken by a command word, a standard action that does not provoke attacks of opportunity. That's from the D20 Pathfinder SRD, if that counts as a good source.
What did it say?
It's activated by a spoken command word, which translates to a standard action that does not provoke attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
That's for rings specifically.
Yeah, for your ring.
And that's from the Pathfinder D20 SRD.
Yeah, that's what I use. It's what my dad used. If it's good enough for my grandma, it's good enough for me.
Activate magic item or other than a potion or oil. Let's say, what is that? I guess I'm looking at just the standard action there. Give me the grapple. Oh, it's because escaping a grapple is a standard action.
So I should be able to activate from there then, right?
Theoretically. Unless, because usually in the old, because I have some in the old knowledge, I remember like one of the things you could do was, as part of pinning your opponent, you could cover their mouth. So that would obviously stop you from being able to do it, but I don't think you're there yet. If Pathfinder still has those kind of conditions. That's what I'm looking at right now.
All right, so if you're grappled, you can attempt to break it with the normal or escape artist, and if so, you can become the grappler, blah, blah, blah. Instead of attempting to break or reverse, you can take any action that doesn't require two hands to perform, such as cast a spell or make an attack or full attack with a light or one-handed weapon against any creature in your reach, including the creature that is grappling you. So I'd say you can use your ring.
Okay. Hey, can you take a look at Flame Strike real quick for me? It's only showing 76 for its... Oh, never mind. Sorry, I see 70 fire and 76 for divine. Okay, as it was weird. That's what I'm going to do, though, is call down a Flame Strike over the bird.
Is that a AoE? You might have to worry about yourself, too.
Yep.
Okay, just making sure.
Don't you have all that?
So is that...
Partial
so you're,
divine, too.
Now, so you're doing a spell? Or is that in your ring?
That's in my ring.
Okay.
As I can do it twice per week.
All right, so Flame Strike, and that is... Okay, go ahead and target the steel wing and cast Flame Strike. Okay, and then do some damage. All right, and that is...
Although it should have taken full damage from the divine.
Holy, that is...
That.
I've never seen 14d6 all roll 6.
What's
I didn't
the
even
odds
notice
on that? That has to be...
All right,
No,
hold on.
that's-
Let me undo it and do it. Try this again. Make sure that wasn't a weird thing. Hold on.
That's right within John's portfolio as a god of luck.
Whoa.
I think the only one that might be more powerful in luck than him was his sister. All those damn crits that
Yeah,
she
I'm just
constantly
curious.
rolled.
I mean, the odds on
Okay,
that would
it's
have to-
there's something
Yeah.
with the rolling, Brandon, on that.
Okay.
There's no way that we did it
Oh,
twice.
because you've got it maximized,
Oh,
and that shouldn't...
Oh.
How?
is
Where do you see that?
is the ring maximized?
Well, you can see it in the...
I don't think it is.
Look at where it says damage, Flame Strike, maximize, type, fire, spell, 76 plus 42. So, and that's
How do
in
you
your...
take that off.
Well, let me look at it for a second. For your ring, Flame Strike, and then we've got it set up here.
Oh,
If we
man.
go into the cast, we can see...
I don't even know how to read the... I don't know if it's getting it right.
If we go into the damage,
This 14 all coming up sixes would be.
see,
This is E.
when you go
-0.
into...
Okay, I see it. Yeah, where it says meta magic.
But hang on a second
it
before
shouldn't,
you...
though, because
Well, I might have made a
dragged
mistake.
it. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I dragged it and dropped it into there.
I might have made a mistake when I made it, so...
Let me look at the one. Yeah, so if you look at my level 5 spells, I also have it prepared right now, is it doesn't have the M, which I'm assuming is what's denoting the maximize on it.
Roughly 1 in 13 trillion.
Yeah. That would have been awesome if that was legit.
So you're saying
Dude,
those
I
are
don't know.
chants?
We would have to do something. I don't know what we'd have to do. But you just couldn't proceed with your normal day.
Win the campaign right there.
Dude, no. We get like a couple fifths and we head down to Vegas and we put him on a damn craps table.
So I'll just turn off that maximize,
Even if he doesn't know how it worked. At least he didn't.
and
Decent.
that should solve it. So go ahead and re-roll it,
Okay.
and then I'll fix it for the...
All right.
Yeah, re-roll the damage, and then I'll fix it because it'll... All right, so you rolled 41, and it would take none of the fire and half of the... Or it would take half, all of the... What's the word?
Divine.
Divine. All of the divine and half of the fire. So it would take 20
I'm kind of disappointed it didn't turn out all sixes again,
and
though.
20. So it would take 30.
I always like that when the game master goes to call you like BS or something like, all right,
Okay.
show me a 20 and I'll let you do this, and you just natural 20.
All right, so this pillar of flame and divine energy appears out of the sky and slams down on the bird that's carrying you. And you can smell an odd, the odd smell of heated metal for a moment. And that's your turn.
Is I'll move 20 feet. Just playing. Yeah, that'll be it.
Okay.
Dude, gain our burrow speed and move 20 feet into the bird.
All right, so then...
I think you do that with an Earth Titan.
So Fenrith,
I think it has to be non-living.
you cast that spell, and you're being swept along through the dark, rainy sky. And, looking up, you can see that, like, all of the feathers on this creature, like, if you've ever seen where birds puff themselves up with their feathers, it does that. And, so it's got all these metallic feathers sticking in different directions. And, they actually stab into you just for you being there. So this is, for this particular creature, this is, oh, no, I lied. Sorry. I said that wrong. What happens is it looks to you like a lot of the feathers just burst off of the bird, but then begin swirling all around it. Like a storm of razor sharp feathers, and those slash into you by virtue of you being within their field there. So, so you'll take some damage from that. Let's see if I have that on there.
Would I be able to trigger my stored spell off of this? Well, I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious to me that this thing is not a natural creature. It's like the law wardens. Would I be able to discern that, Randy?
Hang on a second. Let me see if I got this damage set up on here. I don't. I'll just have to roll it. So that'll be 5d6 slashing damage at you, Fenrith. Now, what was your question, sir?
Would I be able to discern with what I'm seeing so far that these are kind of like the law wardens, as far as not like a natural creature?
No, not at all. That's not the impression at all that you get. You get, based on your experience and your adventures, you get the impression that this is like a magical beast.
Okay. As when it hits me, then I'll also release that stored spell in the in my chest, or my armor as inflict critical wound.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, go ahead and do that. Okay. Yeah, so these feathers slice into you, and do I need to complicate things? No, I don't.
My stomach's on top of today.
Those feathers slice into you all around, slicing and dicing you, but then you release that inflict critical into this creature, and it gives a sharp, piercing cry as that negative energy courses through it, but on it carries you. So that's like just a natural thing. That's not its action having that storm around it anyways. And it's moving so fast that you now are looking down below you. You can see you were like 30 feet above the ground, and now you're hundreds of feet above the ground with the trees in the bowl down below you. But it will do a constrict, whatever that's called.
How fast would the bird have to be moving for John to worry about blackout? How many G's would it have to be pulling?
I don't know. Some people can do.
I think it's up to like 10.
Yeah.
Say, what, a fortitude, probably?
Well, yeah, that's probably what it would be.
Or at least that's what it was in
I'm
Maverick.
pretty fortuitous.
That's where I thought the same thing, too. We are still Americans, just.
Yes.
Well, yeah, like I think the DC would have to change by the number of G's it'd be pulling, right? Because it would get progressively
Right, yeah.
harder.
Yeah.
And then like any sort of like quick changes, I think could mess with, like an elf isn't geared for high speed, sudden turns or up and down. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start getting into the paralyzed zone here. Especially with it in the talons, break my neck or something.
Then I think he'd also have, at high enough speeds, he'd have to worry about being able to breathe.
yeah. Like I think that'd probably start happening a bit sooner too, because like,
Like G's are mostly, on corners and changes in direction, but
yeah, like inertial based almost.
yeah.
I know Aerotech, the Battletech space one, they got it down so your like thrust is going forward type of thing, and then any change that is of a certain angle, you're gonna have to start making maneuvers. Apparently, like they're notorious for just all crashing into the ground constantly. That's all Aerotech is good for.
Apparently equivalent to 22 miles per hour.
If you name your
For
company
1G.
Aerotech, then you kind of assume you're going straight as an arrow.
Doesn't really seem that fast.
And you're eventually going to hit something.
Suppose you need. Well,
A G is just.
that's a measure. That's a measure of the gravitational feeling you get.
So like one would, like I could see that being fairly slow
But
to get that.
If somebody's feeling 10 at 220 miles an hour, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem that fast. I've probably been 220 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think everybody
In a
has
plane,
if you've ever
right?
been on an
Yeah.
airplane.
But you only really feel the motion in the plane when you're like taking off.
Yeah, when they
When
hit
you
the
first start going.
Yeah,
And then it kind of levels out.
Yeah, so like if that plane decided to start doing some like, evasive maneuvers, you'd probably start seeing people.
Because it seems like when you watch those flight videos they'll take somebody up when they want to put the G-force on them, they'll go like
Yeah,
up, right? So you're getting like the double
you're getting
thrust
that.
and the actual
The
Earth's
natural.
gravity.
Yeah.
yeah. There's been a couple space games where I've blacked out on re-entry. That's
Yeah.
been real fun to wake up as the ground's coming at you.
All right, anyway, so talons squeeze you, Fenrith, for 12 points of damage.
I'll give him a squeeze back. Let him know that I care.
Mm-hmm.
And then the talons let go of you for no points of damage.
No. Don't do that.
Did it, what was it, fling 'em or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no.
Oh.
Just let him go.
Either way, say hello to the ground.
So that's turn as you feel weightless and free. As you-
First time ever, I'm free.
Free falling.
Start singing. Yeah, I was going to say, start singing Tom Petty.
All right, Rohan.
Yep, pursuit angle.
Okay. And you will have made You have reached it at this point. So as you get within attack range, a couple things you notice is the swirling storm of feathers.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that it's hard to tell because of that where exactly it is.
Ah.
Okay.
It's got like a concealment effect on it.
So as we head in, I'll be firing arrows at it as we close with it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you get within range and you start knocking an arrow, and that's when you see it let go of Fenrith.
I thought
Or no, you're on the
Yeah,
second one?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going after the one.
Right. So it's about, okay, go ahead. Yeah. Same thing for this one, though. You can't exactly tell where it is based on that feather
Okay.
distortion, but,
Do I just target the steel wing that's in the...
yep. Or wait, let me put the other one up there. Get to it.
Does your what's it called? Your negation of covers, does it extend to magical type effects or?
It negates cover, but not
Concealment? It should do.
not magical.
Okay.
Here, let's see. What's the exact wording of it?
Okay.
It does not like keeping my magic missiles around for some reason.
Maybe I coded it.
It just always disappears every time I set it up.
For some reason, I've always had like this unnecessary dislike of magic missile. And I don't know why. It's like a good spell, or at the very least, decent.
It's just a nuts and bolts spell is why it's like if you got nothing else to do and you want to deal just a little bit of damage because that's all you can do. That's what it's there for. But
Like even it's like once you get up there, like it's still pretty dang decent damage. It's going to overcome most damage reductions. Just I don't like it. It's like I could put anything else in that slot,
yeah,
and I would probably fare better than just magic missile. Is what it seems. Like it doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Yeah. What is the ability that?
It's improved precise shot, and it's your ranged attacks ignore the AC bonus granted to targets by anything less than total cover, and the mischance granted to anything by anything less than total concealment. Total cover and total concealment provide their normal benefits, but it doesn't work on things like blink, where they're actually leaving the plane.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, because that's like just a straight up mischance.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead. It should not have its mischance against you.
Okay, so we'll do rapid shot.
Can you see it on the combat tracker?
Steel Wing 2?
Yeah.
I can now.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, I'll take my shots as we're heading in, and then Tempest will make its attack once we reach it.
Okay.
So first attack has 2 arrows.
So it is doing the
Yeah, it's still
mischance,
doing mischance.
but
But
which is frustrating.
let's see. First one was a 35.
Oh, I see. It's because you don't have improved precise shot on your character sheet.
Oh,
So let me put that on there. Hopefully that'll fix it. But anyway, what does it look like we got here?
see, it looks like 2 hits, 2 misses. The first one has 2 arrows.
All right. So it's AC 20. So yeah, hit, miss. Okay. Yeah, 2 hits, 2 misses. So go ahead and roll damage.
All right, so first one is 2 arrows. And then the second attack hit as well.
Okay.
All right, so those were my hits, and then as we get to the last few feet, Tempest will do that claws out and attack it.
Feet first into the meat grinder.
Yep.
Okay. So, Tempest is swooping in to attack.
Yeah. Let's see.
Give me 1 second here. I've lost your rocks. Where did you go? Okay. It's interesting. I'm not seeing where the hell they would have gone.
They're kind of big. Kind of hard to lose them.
If we need to, it's almost ending time anyway. We could
Yeah.
come back.
So we'll pick up with you back with Tempest about to attack, but let's go over to Casimir for the rest of it. I mean, we'll have to hurry with this. Unless, is anybody going to die if we don't stop right at 1?
I won't die.
Okay.
That sounds
Can't
like
say that. I'm just trying to be scientific about this.
He won't die, but
chances are.
Casimir.
his
So
girlfriend
you,
might kill him when he gets home.
yeah, go ahead. It's Casimir for the rest of it. So, Casimir, you have been moving along, and you found quite a few more corpses. So, we'll go down the list here of the corpses that you've come across as you move through here. You find a lot of human, orc, bugbear corpses, ogres. You find more of those 2-headed giants. A good assortment of giants in general, from hill giants up to stone giants, as you're moving along this winding path. And that's normal. Like, there's nothing about those that draws your attention, because one dead orc is same as another, and so it doesn't give you really a good sense of the abilities of whoever did this killing, because most of these are not that difficult to kill.
Yeah.
But as you look up after you've been walking for about a half an hour, and you're looking forward at that very slight incline through the haze, you see up ahead another widened area like the clearing you were at before. And you think you'll get there in about, maybe an hour. But then it drops out of sight again because of the haze that moves around and messes with your vision. But as you move in that direction, you finally start to see more corpses that of things that are not so easily killed.
Yeah.
Right. So the first thing that is like that really draws your attention is you look up and you see what you think at first is just a trick of the shadow, a dark blot on the floor. But as you get closer, you can see that it actually has form, and it is a body of something. And let's see, where is it? Let me find a description for it here. There it is. So it's like 20 feet tall, this thing. It's not carrying it doesn't have any weapons nearby. I mean, something could have taken them with it, but there isn't any nearby to it. You recognize this as an undead, an extremely powerful undead, and because I don't think you guys have actually encountered it, but you would recognize it from your studies. Let's see if I have a picture of it here I can show you. I'm sure I do, but anyway, so this thing is like 20 feet tall, and it looks, even up close to it, it looks like it's just a shadow, but it does have solid form. So you recognize that as a very powerful undead, and it's been killed. And that's when you start to first realize, well, there's something to this legend of how powerful this Stromnar is. Another thing that you encounter not far past that is a hideous humanoid. It looks like sort of a humanoid toad. This particular one is got blue and purple, and to its skin, if you could call it that, which is very thick and tough, and it's got spines and plates. It's a hulking creature. It's like as big as an ogre, but its head is like a toad.
Huh.
It has wicked-looking, bony Wolverine spikes coming out of the back of its hands. Do a knowledges do you have?
Not planes, if that's what you're looking for.
That was. So do instead let's try, Arcana it'll have to be.
All right.
Let's see if you roll high enough there.
There you go.
Yeah, so you don't recognize what it is. But you do see that just about 10 feet beyond it, you see a couple more that are sort of similar, but they're smaller and they're red, but they seem to be the same sort of species, whatever that might be. Then you come across a gnome. The gnome is dressed all in ranger gear, and has been somebody took the time to pose the gnome in a state of like you would to bury someone. Someone took the time to do that. And as you're looking at it, you're like, it's hard to see even how it died, how this gnome, as a male gnome, died. But then, as you get another angle at it, you can see that the whole back of its head is sliced off.
Yeah.
There is what's the next one? Oh, and then you find a barbed devil that's been killed, and you've encountered those before.
Would I find it odd that the corpse of the devil remained in this plane?
Yeah, you find it odd that did, and same with the undead. You find that very odd because that's not what's supposed to happen.
Okay.
Yet there they remain. Let's see. Night Walker is what that undead was. So, even in death, it looks like it's just wrapped in darkness. But yeah, that is not supposed to stick around. And then as you move along, you find a, what's it called? Have you guys ever? Yeah, I don't know if you've ever encountered them. So you come across it's a human-shaped being that's, maybe about 6 feet tall, but its flesh is like this rubbery green, and its head looks like sort of like an octopus, four tentacles.
Good. Okay.
So you find that laying there, and then 10 feet from that, you find a pile of more of them. So now you keep moving. You're getting closer now. Now you can see that opening more often up ahead. You come across a creature, a humanoid. This one's female. It is like you looking at her as you get close, you can definitely tell it's female, and apparently pretty well proportioned female. But as you get closer, you see the face is hideous and crowned with snakes that are all dead now. And then you come around another curve and you find a dragon, the corpse of a dragon. It's stretched out long ways, so you have to walk beside it to get past it. But this is a red dragon, and it's been killed. And then up ahead, you can see where the path ends and the clearing begins. And there's one more corpse right there at the entrance. And as you approach, you can see it was a small person, like a halfling or a gnome. But then as you come upon it, you see that it is a halfling. It was a halfling.
All right.
Laying dead on the floor there, looking up at you, is the face of middle-aged male halfling that you recognize as Volstervindel.
I always wondered what happened to you. In fact, I thought for a while that he was that dead halfling we encountered in, what was it? Was it another dimension, like the top levels of some hell?
It was the one that was like spiked with explosives. Is that the one you're thinking of? Yeah.
So Volstervindel has fallen here, and and 10 feet away is his dog, also dead.
I'll go over to his corpse, see if I can discern what killed him. And
so there's just a very large stab wound that takes up the majority of his chest.
I suspect this may have something to do with it.
Thank you, voice of Fenrith. Or not Fenrith. Yeah, I'll stick with it.
Let me share with you as you look at this clearing, and you're on the ground, so it's sort of difficult to see at first, but there are, in the center of it, there is a ring of stone pillars, and inside that ring, fire shoots up from the floor, probably about 40 feet, and you can't see past the fire.
Okay.
But in front of the fire, in the floor, is at first you just think it's like a depression or a dip in the rock or whatever, but as you look closer, you can see that it is a sword inlaid into the stone of the floor, and it's 150 feet long, 15 feet wide. It's not something that somebody can use.
Yeah.
But it's like the place in the, like a place was made, a setting was made for it in the floor for it to sit in, and it's a sword. And so that's what you can see. And as the flame shoots up from the floor in that ring with inside the stone pillars, every now and again you'll get a glimpse through there and see that there's a clearing inside there. But do a perception check for me.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, so, you're looking and occasionally you can see through the shooting flame at that clearing in there, and you do see finally a brief glimpse of a massive person sitting on the floor leaning back against a rock. And this this person is enormous. You would think by looking at him that he's a dwarf, except for his size. The proportions are like that of a dwarf, but he's enormous, and he's got flaming red hair, and he's dressed in full plate armor that seems to provide complete coverage, and he's got a sword across his knees. But you just you can catch that, but you can't get more details beyond that as you're looking at him. So, on the floor in front of the sword, you can see like a little pulpit, and that's the only other feature you can see. So let me do something real quick. Okay, then I can put you on this map here. So you can get an idea what you're looking at. Where are you? There you are. So you have true sight, right?
No, I have see invisibility and dark vision.
Dark vision, okay. Let me make sure your token... You don't need it because we have good light here.
I wish I had true sight, but after the conversion to Pathfinder, they took out all the XP costs and converted them to gold. Now I don't got the gold for it. I don't even know if you can actually make true sight permanent. I forget.
That seems like one of those spells that would be distracting to have permanent.
Yeah, that's why I also didn't go with like detect or read magic.
Yeah.
Because eventually I figured you'd get to the point where everything is just glowing too much.
Read magic maybe, but then you got to worry about glyphs.
Yeah, that's the other reason. I avert my eyes or Casimir averts his eyes whenever he's around one, just in case. I think any writing he started doing that with.
Okay. So let me share this map with you.
All right.
Tell me if you see.
I see myself, but it looks like I have no lighting.
Okay.
That's like, there it goes. I see like a bunch of fire, a big old sword,
yeah,
like a black kind of circle or column type thing. I'm guessing that's obscured vision.
Yeah, that is the area on the other side of the fire that you're not really able to see. And I can just draw it on here. So that's where it's like a little stand. It's like a little pulpit. And from here you can see that there's like a book on it.
Oh, okay, I see it. All right. Yeah, I'll walk up over to it. Actually, how close is the creature I spotted?
So if your eyes don't betray you or you're not cheated by some spell, then it would have been 100 feet away on the other, inside that fire there.
All right. Man. Yeah, I'll walk up to the book. You'll have to excuse my rudeness for not announcing myself.
Yeah, that's the other thing I forgot to mention is that it's like deafening in here as well. Like the sound of the flames is pretty much the only thing you can hear. But yeah, so as you approach and stand in front of that pulpit there, and you see that it is a book, but it seems to have been made out of stone. So it's like got these odd, thin pages, that you can turn. But anyway, so you approach that and you can look and you see in their tongue, which you recognize, it says, "Here rests Stromnar, guardian of Tarcellus," and then there's like an inkwell with no ink in it, and a quill pen, and it says, "Add your blood to the page," to gain an audience.
All right.
So that's what you can see on the page that's open to. Is there's names scratched into the stone. It's like a, sticky blood.
Okay.
All different names.
Yeah.
But
is Volster a recent addition?
Yeah, that's the latest one.
All right. Why am I starting to hear boss music? I'll. Can you use the pen nib to prick your finger?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll stab the nib into. I'll probably go with my pinky. The thumb's like too important. Everyone always goes for like the thumb or the palm of the hand.
You use that way too much.
Yeah, and I'll get a nice bit of blood on it, and with my elvish like handwriting flourishes, I'll Casimir, hero of the Roc.
All right.
So that way I can get bumped to the front of the line.
Yeah.
You got to put your title in.
I'm important. Okay. So yeah, you scratch your name into there, and then there's a brief moment where it's just like blood on the stone, but then it starts to smoke as it etches into the stone itself, your name. And then just like that, all of the flames die down. Now they're just like a foot out of the ground instead of all the way up. And the silence is shocking to you in comparison to what it was like before. But then you can see clearly that fire giant there resting on a stone with his back up against it with his sword. And it looks like he's sleeping, but then his head snaps up and slowly moves over towards you. But then we'll have to stop there for the day. We've run too late as it is. But that's where we'll pick it up next time with Tempest about to attack the Steel Wing. Fenrith falling peacefully to the ground hundreds of feet below. Casimir meeting Stromnar the fire giant, and Graham bumbling around blind.
I think I see something. All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a Death Watch production. Thank you for listening.